All you have to do is spend time with older adults, and then you realize you don't have the luxury of being shy because it's not about you. It's about what you can do to serve.
From the USC Leonard Davis School of Gerontology, this is Lessons in Lifespan Health, a podcast about the science and scientists improving how we live and age. I'm George Shannon, Kevin Shue Chair in Gerontology. On today's episode, how our alumna, Dr. Kerry Burnight, is leveraging technology and her gerontology PhD to help older adults stay safe and connected. Dr. Kerry Burnight is the chief gerontologist at GrandPad, the creators of an internet-connected tablet designed specifically for seniors. She spoke to us about how the device aims to combat loneliness and abuse, and about the sense of purpose that powers her gerontology career.
To this day, anybody asks me what I do, I say I'm a gerontologist. I wasn't like, oh, I'm a professor, I'm a CEO. Even when what is your job? I'm a gerontologist. And then people say, what is that? Which is good because I want them to say, what is that? And you say, that is a person who studies aging. And our goal is to try to make aging a better experience for all of us. And then people are right on board. So I think there's like a million different ways to express your gerontology-ness. And I honestly feel so like the world is the oyster of undergrad, master's, and PhD gerontologists. And the only thing that will hold you back is not going for it.
Kerry Burnight has been going for it since the day she attended a large lecture as a UCLA senior and first learned that a gerontologist was something one could be.
I can't believe that's a job. That's so cool. So I muscled my way down against the sea of outgoing students to say, wait, what is a gerontologist? So she was nice enough to tell me, and she said, USC actually has the best program in the nation. So that day, when I was a senior in college, I got in my beat-up car and drove over from UCLA to USC.
She stayed for 5 years, earning a PhD under the mentorship of Professor Elizabeth Zielinski. Then she heard another lecture, this time from noted geriatrician Dr. Laura Mosqueda, who's now at USC but was then at UC Irvine.
And afterwards, I went up to her and just said, I am entirely in line with your thinking, and I would love to work with you. I have a PhD, your whole department are MDs, but I think we could be innovative about this. And she was so great because she said, I don't have any positions for you, but if you could write a position for yourself, then we can do it. So I identified a grant, and then I worked there for 19 years.
Burnight served as a professor of geriatric medicine and gerontology at UC Irvine. During that time, she and Dr. Mosqueda founded the first Elder Abuse Forensic Center and the nonprofit organization Ageless Alliance Against Elder Abuse.
A pivotal moment was Laura and I won an award from the U.S. Attorney General. And it was for our service to the victims of crime. And it was that at that time, Attorney General Holder. And when I was flying home, I was thinking, the fact that we know a lot of the risk factors for elder abuse, we must get so that we stop the abuse, neglect, and exploitation before it starts. And so one of the variables that we found was loneliness. And so all things being constant, being lonely or socially isolated puts you at greater risk for elder abuse and exploitation, but also at significantly greater risk for cognitive impairment, for stroke, for heart disease, and even mortality with all variables held constant. So you're 25% more likely to pass away than those who are not lonely. And so I think, okay, that's something we can do something about. So with Ageless Alliance, we were connecting volunteers with older adults, and it was great, but it was not scalable. And so I was thinking, gosh, maybe technology could help us.
She became convinced that technology could indeed help when she met an older widower named Harry.
He was a Green Beret. He went to Stanford University. He took care of his wife for 10 years with Alzheimer's disease. And when his wife passed away, he was profoundly lonely. And so as a result, over the course of 16 months, he was scammed out of $600,000 and he lost his home.
When Burnight met him, Harry was in the hospital with a diagnosis of dehydration and malnutrition.
And I think so often people would just stick with that. Oh, well, it's just dehydration and malnutrition. But in fact, it was entirely from self-neglect, financial exploitation, and loneliness.
She provided him with a GrandPad, a secure internet-connected tablet created by an Orange County tech startup that Burnight had recently learned about.
So then he was able to connect with all of us, but without any of the scammers or perpetrators. And so he was a guy who listened to jazz music and he loved to listen to it on his GrandPad. And we did all these video calls. And the reason it was so helpful is because it was so different.
Harry has since passed away, and Burnight now works as the chief gerontologist at GrandPad, where she helps ensure the needs of seniors are considered in every step of product research and development.
So Standard Technology creates technology targeted and built for those in their 20s and 30s. So the buttons are tiny. And for example, the screens on an iPad or a phone, it's moisture that activates the ability to. So as we get into our 90s, often we lose that moisture. So you're pressing in exactly the right point, and your grandson's like, press here. It was never designed intelligently and to honor you, to honor your autonomy. And many organizations are all about, quote, training seniors. And it's so silly if you even take one step back and you think, don't train them. It'd be like saying, let's train people to wear size 2 pants. No, you need to make size 6 pants and size 8 pants and size 20 pants, not shove people into these tiny pants.
To that end, GrandPads are designed to be easier to tap, charge, and operate. For example, they turn on automatically and can be customized to each user in advance. When they want to make a call, GrandPad users don't need to enter phone numbers. They can just tap on a picture of the person they want to reach.
And so Einstein says that the greatest sophistication is simplicity. And it's true. The hardest thing in the world that you can do is to create something simple. And it's not because seniors are less than, it's because we have listened. My best thing of my job is that I employ a group of seniors ages 86 to 106 who are called our grand advisors. Every step of the way, it is just by listening of what matters and what doesn't matter to people.
They're also working with companies like Lyft for transportation assistance and conducting research with universities, including USC studies that are looking at uses of GrandPads for telehealth and for after-hospital discharge. When they need assistance, Burnight says GrandPad subscribers are able to connect to a live member experience agent that is assigned specifically to them.
It's really super important that given the increased heterogeneity of the senior population, that everybody should be having a different GrandPad because it will be different for everyone. So I have somebody that I work with. She has cognitive impairment, and the only thing that really is soothing to her in this late stage of Alzheimer's disease is music. And so it's not just any music, it's certain hymns that she sung when she was a little girl. So we have all those hymns, and her daughter, if she finds any, it's just all she has to do is call the member experience and they push those songs right to her.
The system's flexibility and prioritization of the needs of older adults is much like Burnight's description of the field of gerontology as a whole.
I say you can literally do anything you are interested in because aging is living. So any aspect, so my aspect now is human connection and technology, but you could, if you're interested in food, if you're interested in transportation, if you're interested in entertainment, if you're interested, basically, in my opinion, any facet of being a human in this time of demographic revolution needs a gerontologist to really be thinking at it in a systematic way from what it means from an aging perspective.
One of Burnight's 3 children has followed her footsteps and is now an undergraduate at the USC Leonard Davis School. Burnight's message to her and to all future gerontologists is the one an older adult once passed along to her.
All you have to do is spend time with older adults, and then you realize you don't have the luxury of being shy because it's not about you. It's about what you can do to serve. And actually, it was a senior who told me that one time. I was speaking, there was like a crowd of 1,000, and I was getting nervous. And so this older person said to me, "You need to get out of your way." And that really struck me, that I was the one. I'm scared to talk in front of people. I don't want to blah, blah, blah. Get out of your way, because if you're going to help aging and our own aging, then you better get to work.
That wraps up this lesson in Lifespan Health. Thanks to Dr. Kerry Burnight for her time and expertise, and to all of you for choosing to listen. Subscribe to our podcast at lifespanhealth.usc.edu. Lessons in Lifespan Health is supported by the Ney Center for Healthspan Science and the Center for Lifespan Health.